All right. Well, it was designed to protect children from harmful lead in toys and other products, but the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act is actually stirring up some controversy. We're going to talk about it this morning. Some say it's the right way to keep kids safe, but many consumers and small businesses believe the law just goes too far and was passed for the wrong reasons. From San Francisco, Jim Conran joins us, the Executive Director of the Child Safety Task Force, and Jeff Steyer here in New York, Associate Director of the American Council on Science and Health. Jeff, good to have you. I'll start with you first, and then we'll get to Jim. What do you think of this?
I think it's a law gone terribly bad. Everybody wants to protect children's health, and we ought to use good science to do it.
Right.
But this law went overboard. It's ridiculous. Some of the
in what way?
ramifications. Well, there are unscientific standards being used, and there are unbearable ways of applying it. For instance, there's a company that makes shoes. There's rubber soles in the shoes in 4 different colors. One of those 4 colors had a drop over the legal limit of lead. The company had to throw away, shred, $500,000 worth of inventory. Nobody was going to get sick from a drop, 601 parts per million of lead in the sole.
Right.
Of
So you think
shoe.
they're going a little too nuts with this? Let me say, Jim. But the idea here is just to, I would think, err on the side of caution. Is that the way we should be going? What do you make of this bill?
Well, we supported the bill because we thought the bill was a good idea, and the American consumers had many body slams the last couple of years with salmonella outbreaks and the peanut butter scare and the lead toys coming in from China. So clearly the politicians were responding to that particular pressure. Where we are concerned about this particular bill is that it sometimes allows political rhetoric to get ahead of the scientific facts, and we are proponents of saying that all products are tested and they're done in a timely manner so we can get safe products to the American consumer.
Yeah, so the idea here is, and I think Jim points this out, Jeff, a little bit, is that, hey, this might not be perfect, but the last thing we want is kids getting sick from lead poisoning. So, hey, let's do something here, even if it's not the perfect
So let me give you an example of what they've done. They said we need to get rid of all lead above 100 parts per million from everything that goes to children. So what they did was they require ATVs, all-terrain vehicles, and motorcycles for kids to have lower than this amount of lead in it. So now they're taking products off the market, ATVs that are designed for kids, and now, ironically, the federal government is finally calling these ATVs dangerous. Not because, well, they're dangerous, but because they have too much lead in them that the kid may eat the ATV with lead. But what's happening is kids are now being forced, and their parents are being forced to buy ATVs that are designed for adults, which are more dangerous. They're too big.
I was about to ask you what the downside is.
It's the
unintended consequences.
Unintended consequences, like so many laws that go into effect in response to something that gets a lot of people's emotion. We're dealing with kids.
Net, don't you think we're better off doing this?
Net, we are worse off, especially at this time. We're hurting the economy. We're hurting small businesses.
You're worried about the business impact. It's cost the business.
Well, it's costing consumers access to many safe products. You know, the little balls, little bouncy balls, little figurines. Sure. Because of labeling requirements about where they're made, and everything about the product, a batch number, all of that, they need to be printed on the figurines. All of these products that we used to have as kids, remember the vending machines, video arcades, they're going to be off the market because of these absolutely ridiculous labeling requirements. So the law, this is the wrong way to do it.
All right, hop in there, Jim.
Well, not all these rules are bad, and one of the problems with this regulatory agency is that it's been resource-starved for many years, so they haven't been able to do the job that they want to do. And as for getting products to the American consumer, we're all in favor of that. We want to make sure that they're safe, and we want to make sure that all of them are tested. Now, I will point out one example, the issue of the phthalates. Think of rubber duckies, that as phthalates make products more moldable that are plastic. And for years, that one of the components in phthalates was considered safe by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. And recently, because of congressional action, that was banned. But yet all the alternative products that would be used to substitute for this product have not been tested. And so we are concerned that in these types of situations, the Consumer Product Safety Commission has to be very aggressive at testing all products and putting them on an equal testing platform so consumers will know, and also so manufacturers will have something that they can work with, because what you don't want to do is have 50 states with 50 different sets of rules, and a manufacturer trying to comply with that.
Well, we agree. It's a bad law in that sense.
Well, in that way, so Jim's saying it's not a perfect law, in other words, but he still supported it. And I want to ask you, Jim, the same question I asked Jeff, which was, and Jeff already answered this thing. You know, at the end of the day, this is worse, makes things worse rather than better. And my question was, you know, net isn't it better to do something?
Well, I think it is better to do something, but we want it to be done wisely, and I think that's what Jeff is saying as well. And we hope now that the Consumer Product Safety Commission will have the resources to do that and test these products in a very timely manner, because they have been lax in the past. And so we think that this particular set of rules will allow them to do a more effective job. Will they do a job perfectly? Show me any government agency that's done something perfectly.
Right.
Which is why we got to have a
we're
law that's
looking for the best case scenario.